Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Peticola of Second Chance Secrets, empowering motivational speakers, coaches, leaders, change makers to empower your message and your mission through high-end transformational programs that really make a difference. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Why do you want high-end? And also, how do you make a difference? So let's begin by what's the difference between a hero and a leader. A hero rescues people. A leader leads them to take action so that they can change. Now, what does this have to do with anything? A lot of motivational speakers are really heroes. They go on stage and they talk, you talk, about the things that people need to know. You inspire them, you uplift them, you excite them. That's what you're paid for. It's totally understandable. But you're probably not getting too many paid speaking gigs anymore, are you? Because of this pandemic. You're needing to learn a new way of monetizing your message. So how do you do that? Well, you have clearly gone through something amazing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a motivational coach. You have had difficulties and you have transformed your life. That's why you're a motivational speaker. You want to share your epiphany. I get it. I totally get it. I understand. I'm the same way. But here's the problem. As a motivational speaker, yes, you need to uplift people. That's your job. That's what you get paid for. But when it comes to speaking to enroll people in a paid program, you have to change your approach. You cannot rescue them. You need to lead them. So how do you do that? Well, I can tell you some things that you shouldn't do, and that is to convince your audience that they have it all figured out, that they've got what it takes, that they're fine the way they are. Now that's something you would want to do as a motivational speaker because, you have an hour with them. And, you may invite them to go and get a copy of your book. But when you are trying to have a webinar in which you enroll people, it's deceptive because people do not change in an hour webinar. They learn some things, they're excited, it might last a couple of hours, maybe 24 hours, maybe even a week. But after 2 weeks, they're back to their old habits. Because it's not just about mindset. We learn how to behave when we are children. And those patterns are very, very deeply ingrained in our body. And to change them is to provoke fear, is to stimulate fear and avoidance. It's natural. So it actually takes a fair amount of work for people to change. Now, okay, so maybe you have offered a low-end, long-term program. But if you do not tell people why they need to do it, they will not sign up. And if you offer them a low-end program, you're going to get low-end commitment. And I tell you, I have done both high-end and low-end. And first of all, it takes the same amount of effort to get people to sign up for high-end as it does low-end. And the low-end people are not as motivated. They're not as committed. They do not do the work. And here's the really important secret. People do not change unless they do the work. Now maybe you think, oh, I'll give them some exercises, I'll give them an assignments. It takes practice. If they only do it when you are in front of them, then you haven't enabled them to have the shift that they need. Therefore, when they take your program or they listen to your webinar and they get all excited and then 2 weeks later they're back to where they were before, there are two responses that I have discovered in my 30 plus years of working with people through life transformations. Now, there are more people than this, but these are the main types. And it isn't necessarily that you're one type or another, but that there's certain go-to responses. So one of the responses that you might see in your audience is, oh, this didn't work. Why bother? I can't do it. I'm no good. And so you end up, even though you uplifted people, you end up leaving them feeling inadequate. And that's not what you want to do. Now, the other type, they're going to blame you. Oh, what you said was bull. It really didn't work. I tried it and it didn't work. You told me to write down these affirmations and I don't see any changes in my circumstance. You're a fraud. So those are the two kinds of responses. And the problem is neither of them take action because they're looking for the magic pill. And you seem to be willing to give it to them, the magic pill. Oh, I just need to change my mind. It never looks at the fact that there's an emotional component, a fear component that is extremely powerful and prevents people from moving forward, that makes them forget because they are afraid to take action. That's why I work with my clients for a full year. But by providing them with high-end programs, they get results right away, and they start to develop that mindset through success. It's through taking action that they get their success. So here's another thing that I've noticed about motivational speakers is not only do they give all their secrets away, leaving their audience feeling like, oh, I've got this mastered, I can do this, which is false. It's a false, deceptive sense of empowerment. But number two, you may be hesitant about offering a high-end program. You may be hesitant to offer to really stand up for your program at all, even if it's a low-end program. I listened to this one speaker and she gave herself about 2 minutes at the very end. She begged people to stay because she had spent so much time talking about her brilliant ideas. Oh, my heart went out to her because I've been there. I've done that. I know what it's like. You get really excited about your ideas. You think this is really going to work, and you don't give them the most important thing they need, which is the information about why they need to work with you. What makes you different? What makes your program different? What results can they expect? So I'll give you an example. Why would you want to work with me? Because I know what you've gone through. I know what holds you back. And it's not just mindset. It's a whole constellation of patterns that you developed when you were young. I had a client who came to me, brilliant coach, but she had some unresolved issues, and it was holding her back. It was holding her back from charging what she was worth. It was holding her back from making enough money. And so she was working all the time, and she was ignoring her family. We worked together for 3 months, but even in the first month, she was getting results. Now she is a multiple 6 figures coach. When you have an emotional hesitation, an emotional trauma, an emotional issue that's holding you back, it can hold you back. When I started in the coaching world, I took one of these large impact coaching programs, and at first I was really, really successful. I did get results. I was able to raise my prices. But then one day, I got good. I got so good. I was signing up people that should not have been my clients. And when I got the pushback, I got freaked out. And I dropped into the rabbit pit, the rabbit hole. And it took me a very long time to crawl out. And what I realized from that, there are no bad results. There's only learning. And what I learned from that was that I needed to work on my own emotions first. That I was never going to be successful based on just a formula. I had to step up. I had to become a leader instead of a hero. And that was my journey. And that's what I invite you to become. That's what I invite you to work with me for, is to learn how to become a leader, to deal with those emotional issues, and also at the same time get the marketing and business training that has worked for me, so that you can not only feel more empowered, but you can have more success. Now, I understand you probably think you've got it worked out. But if you're struggling, if you're not making ends meet, I really encourage you to reach out and have a conversation with me. Find out what this Second Chance certification program is, where not only do you learn how to market yourself, not only do you learn how to speak from your truth, but you also deal with any of the emotional issues. And most importantly, when you develop your own program, transformational program, you know it works because you've been through it. The program is not a clone of my programs. Your program is going to be your program, coming from your own specific genius and your life experience. So let's talk a minute about high end. So I've been talking about high end. So I'm talking about 5-figure programs and above. You're saying, well, what about all those poor people that don't have that kind of money? I want to help them too. Well, here's the thing. You should only work with those people who are ready. And when you make a commitment, when you really want to change, when you are ready, you will find the money. That's what I have found, is that if you really need this, you will find the money. You will believe in yourself. And just making that commitment is transformational in and of itself. But you can also still put a hand out to those other people who are struggling by providing them with online self-study programs so that they can start to upgrade themselves. We're not leaving them out of the game, but we are empowering those people who are ready to move forward. And when you move to high end, you don't spend all of your time chasing after people, trying to get them to sign up. You get to spend more of your time working with the clients who are really ready to change. And it is such an amazing experience to work with people who are really motivated, who do the work, because that ultimately is what they need to do. There is no magic pill. Your people need to take action, and they are not going to take it. That is my experience when I worked on the low end, is that they don't take the action. You give them all your brilliance, and it just becomes shelf help. So the question is, are you ready for high end? Are you ready to upgrade? If you are, I can help you to get over your fear of saying, yes, this is a 10K program. That you will say it without stumbling, that you will feel confident because you have created a program that really makes a difference. So maybe you're thinking, well, I can't afford this. Can you afford not to do this? Do you want to keep on struggling? Now, there are a lot of different formulas out there for how to make a living, and there are lots of different income streams. I have tried a number of them, and for me, I like simple. I like clear. I like working with high-end clients, clients who are motivated. When I worked in that high-impact program, as I shared with you, I signed up people who were really not appropriate. They were not ready, but I had become so mesmerizing that I was able to sign them up. And then I got the blowback, and it was devastating. It was also growthful. I appreciate that. And I want to share that with you, and I want to spare you that. Or maybe you've already experienced that and you are ready to move forward and attract your perfect clients. If you want to know more about me, of course, why would you want to sign up with me? Testimonials. Please check out my website. Listen to my clients and the results that they've had working with me. Check out my testimonials on LinkedIn. So my website is secondchancesecrets.com. Check out my programs. And if it's a fit, go ahead and schedule an introductory conversation. It is time. It is time for all of us to stop being heroes and to show up as leaders, to make a difference for our clients, to have the courage to call them on what they are doing, to not give them false hope, to be honest and truthful and authentic. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. Be brilliant. And bye for now.